In this chapter, we will explore the visual hallmarks of prehistoric art and their meanings. Prehistory includes all of human existence before the emergence of writing. When our ancestors were carving objects, painting images, and creating shelters and other structures, they were not making works of art, and there were no artists as we use the term today. The objects and paintings that they created were more involved in everyday survival, but not for visual delight. Nonetheless, prehistoric art, along with the fossils, pollen, and other artifacts, provides significant clues to understanding early human life and culture. Because of no known written documents from this era, we may never know exactly why prehistoric art was made. The conclusions and interpretations we draw from them are only educated guesses. However, for sure, humans were able to create paintings and objects by their imaginations, which were beyond recognizing human and animal forms in the natural environment. This 3 million year old pebble is the example. This pebble was found in a cave in South Africa alongside the bones of an Australopithecus. It is considered that this pebble was not made by an early human, but picked up and carried to the site because of its resemblance to face. It means whoever picked up this pebble could recognize it as symbolic face, possibly the earliest example of symbolic thinking or aesthetic sense in the human heritage. 19th century archaeologists found a lot of stone tools, weapons, and figures at ancient sites, so named the whole period of early human development the Stone Age. Today, researchers divide the Stone Age into two parts, Paleolithic and Neolithic. Let's begin from the Paleolithic period. The Paleolithic humans were hunter-gatherers, therefore they had nomadic living. Because of the limited food sources, they could not settle in fixed locations. Nevertheless, they made sculptures and paintings, found in where they used to live. Here we are looking at one of the oldest sculptures, an ivory statuette. This almost 1 foot tall human figure has a non-human head. It looks like a lion. We don't know exactly what it represents, but this kind of human-animal composite creature can be interpreted as a sorcerer or a human wearing an animal skin. This composite animal-human figure is exceptional. The majority of Stone Age sculptures depict either animals or human, and mostly women and nude. This small, about 4-inch high sculpture is probably the most famous female image, Woman of Willendorf, used to be called Venus of Willendorf because of her body shape. Her breast and belly are very exaggerated, and her arms are tiny. Because of its size and the not standable form, this sculpture was probably meant to be carried instead of set on a flat surface. Interestingly, this sculpture also does not have facial features. It seems that her face is covered by a hat or her hair. Majority of Paleolithic figures have no facial features. However, there is an exception, always. This ivory head has pretty naturalistic human facial features. Paleolithic carvers made not only these freestanding sculptures, but also relief sculptures. Here, we are looking at a relief sculpture of a woman holding a bison horn. These images show more naturalistic body compared to the Woman of Willendorf, but still she is naked and has no facial features. Paleolithic artists also made animal sculptures too. These two bison were made by a technique called modeling. It is not carved, but built with clay. The sculptor tried to depict the different texture of the animals. For example, the sculptor scratched the part of the bison's mane, like here. The majority of Paleolithic paintings depict animals. Almost always, animals were depicted in the same manner, the profile view. It is because the profile view is the most informative perspective of the animal's shape. It continued for quite a long time. Paleolithic painters used torches to paint in the dark caves. They made brushes from reeds, bristles, or twigs, and may have used the blowpipe of reed or hollow bone to spray pigments on out-of-reach surfaces. They sometimes used the natural shapes or forms of the surface to express certain effects. Here, these painted bison have the three-dimensional mess, because the painter chose the bulged parts of the wall for these bison. The meanings of Paleolithic paintings are uncertain because there are no written documents about them. Some researchers proposed that the animal paintings are the Paleolithic people's symbolic gesture of bringing these beasts under their control. Some scholars have hypothesized that rituals or dances were performed to improve the luck of the community's hunters. Others have suggested that the animal representations may have served as teaching tools to instruct new hunters. However, a central problem for these theories is that the foods of Paleolithic diets did not include the animals that were mostly portrayed. Most researchers now believe that the images of animals in the Paleolithic caves are records of the visions seen by shamans during visual trances. Like this spotted horse's head, the unique rock formation may have promoted some of the shamanic visions. This is the end of the Paleolithic art videos. Now you can go to the additional materials folder. You can find many videos, articles, and websites about the Paleolithic art. Choose one topic to learn in details for your further discussions.